the Quran either came from man or it came from God. Yeah. Now we believe, and we can show, and I'm going to show you how what is in the Quran cannot have come from a human being, because, like, if I point my finger at the moon, is the moon going to split? No, but if it did, that would be a miracle, because my finger doesn't have the capacity to cause the moon to split, right? If I kick my foot down here and the earth splits in half, is that not a miracle? Because my foot
It's
does.
a miracle, but it could just also be a coincidence as well.
It could, but I'm not talking about what is right now. I'm just talking about the definition, yeah. So if I hit my foot on the floor, but that's, even if it's a coincidence, it's not my foot causing it though. It's not. Do you see what I'm saying? Because my foot doesn't have the ability to cause the earth to split in half. You follow me? Okay, so then we will argue that the human being doesn't have the ability to bring something like the Quran. Do you see what I'm saying? Let me explain this to you. Let's talk about the specific topic, yeah? Language. Yeah? Let's talk about language. Is Shakespeare better than me at language?
Yeah.
Right? You agree with that? Okay. Now the Quran is obviously spoken in language as well. It's written in the Arabic language. Now, obviously, God is more knowledgeable than everything else. We believe that God is the most knowledgeable, the source of knowledge, and He also is the source of language. So the Quran, if that's true, the Quran has to be something that is totally outside of the ability. The Quran has to be totally outside of the ability of human beings in terms of language. Okay, so this is the challenge. In chapter 2, our creator, yeah, he says that if you're in doubt about what we have sent forth to our servant, meaning the Quran, then produce just one chapter like it. Yeah? So what he's saying is that if you think this came from a human being, then basically you do exactly what he did. You follow me? Like if I say to you, look, I can do this and I'm a prophet, and you come and do the exact same thing and say, look, this guy's an idiot, I can do it as well. He's not a prophet. That's going to obviously show that I'm just lying or I'm phony, right? But here the creator is saying that this came from me and only I can do this. But if you think that this came from another human being, that someone else just wrote it, as your mum said this morning, then go on, you or some other human being do that as well.
Maybe we don't have the capabilities of that other human being.
Okay. So here's what let me explain it to you, right? The smallest chapter is only 10 words, right? 10 words long, yeah? Now, do you guys know much about hip hop music or like rap music, right? Now, obviously, you know when you huh? Right, obviously, but you know when you write a 16 bar, when you write like one verse, yeah? Obviously, you try to put metaphors, you try to put similes, you try to put a bit of alliteration, you put all these rhetorical features to make your poetry sound sick, to make your spoken word sound sick. You follow me, right? Now, the more like punchlines, the more things you put in, the greater, obviously, that verse is gonna be. You follow me? Now, say in like a 16 bar, how many metaphors, how many like rhetorical devices do you think someone could fit in? I used to spit. And I could fit in maybe 7 if I was sick. If I wrote a nice bar, I could fit in about 7.
Whatever lines it is, you could put one in each line. If you could. If you could.
Okay.
Depends if
Listen,
people rate
okay. But you're right. But hear what I'm saying. Listen. In 16 lines, you're saying if you put 1 in each line, that would be sick. Now, that's 16 lines. I told you the smallest chapter in the Quran in which God challenged all of mankind is only 10 words. How many rhetorical devices do you think are in these 10 words? In 10 words, 20. Do you know what you're saying?
You would think 1 in 10 words.
In 1.
You would think 1.
Okay, that's logical.
That's
right?
logical.
That's logical.
That's
But you know what, fam? You're not too far off, because in those 10 words, which is the smaller chapter in the Quran, there are 40 rhetorical devices within 10 words. 40. What? I can. No. Yeah. No, it's cool. Don't worry about it, man. Don't worry. It's all love, fam. No. But yeah. No. Hear what I'm saying. But do you see what I'm saying? Now, if I'm wrong, right? You have the likes of Hamilton Gibbs. These are not Muslim names, yeah? You have the likes of all of these linguists from the UK that have gone and affirmed that the Quran is something that human beings can't do because of this. If the smallest chapter in 10 words has 40 rhetorical devices, then what do you think the rest of the book has? The longest chapter in the Quran has probably it has 286 verses. One verse, some of the verses are like 1 page long, right? But this is 10 words, has 40 rhetorical devices. So the challenge from God is this: okay, fine, a human being wrote it. Tell me what human being can write that. And you can't just say, oh, a human being doesn't have the capacity. You got to prove that a human being could have done that. But the Quran is something that's far out. So how on earth do you explain that?
You can't explain it. I know, you're right.
Right,
yeah,
so then what does it mean? So not only is it something that no one can speak, but the information that it has is something no one could have known.
No one but the creator.
You see what?
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying? Yeah. Then why do you not believe?
Because that.
There's so many possibilities. It's hard to believe one.
No, but he's just narrowed it down. You
yeah,
weren't
but
here,
no,
bruv. You
but
weren't
you
here.
can't
He's
believe
just
one.
narrowed
You
it
can't
down,
believe one
bruv. There's a
and not believe the other.
creator. He's just told us. He's just explained it to us.
But you see, here's the thing: a mental person would have signs of ludicrousy in him. Yes.
Yeah.
But the Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, put together a